Introduction to Retail Management. Introduction. In this module you will learn the definition and history of retailing. You will also learn about the development of marketing theory. We will also touch on non-store retailing, different retailer categories, and, finally, retail management. Topics to be covered in this module include definitions of retailing, a history of retail developments in the UK, the development and scope of retail marketing theory and practice, retail industry associations, retailer categories and business formats, non-store retailing, the retail life cycle, 4 different stages, the wheel of retailing, retail accordion and conflict theory, retailing management. Definitions of retailing. There are several different definitions of retail. Gilbert, 2003, says retail is any business that directs its marketing efforts towards satisfying the final consumer based upon the organization of selling goods and services as a means of distribution. This means Gilbert sees retail as exclusively business-based. Lush et al., 2011, say retailing consists of the final activities and steps needed either to place a product in the hands of a consumer or to provide a service to the consumer, the last step in a supply chain that may stretch from Europe or Asia to your hometown. Therefore, any firm that sells a product or provides a service to the final consumer is performing the retailing function. Retailers can choose to sell services directly to their customers via their businesses. While definitions of retailing traditionally rely on the notion that retail is confined to business-to-consumer (B2C) markets, this isn't true. Retail also happens in places outside the business sectors such as charities and non-profit organizations who engage in retailing to support their income. Websites like eBay have also resulted in consumer-to-consumer (C2C) marketplaces where people can easily sell and purchase services and items over the internet. A history of retail developments in the UK. Retailing changes according to our lifestyles and historical trends. Humans buy things to meet various needs, including survival and self-esteem. Retailing is a relatively recent intervention in consumption. Consumers influence and react to different conditions, and this is reflected in their purchasing. Political, economic, societal and technological factors can all have an impact on how retailing operates. Timeline of retailing. Humans were initially reliant on the small local communities for their produce. Improvement of communication and transport meant markets became widespread in medieval times. Spices were bought or sold over from continents. By the 14th century, Britain was covered in marketplaces where people often migrated to work, often adopting the names of their trade as their surname. In 1520, the word shopkeeper, signifying a seller rather than a tradesperson, was created, and in the mid-16th century, the word marketing, meaning to buy or sell in a central place, was designed. The Industrial Revolution, 18th century, introduced machinery utilized for mass production. In the 1940s, the supermarket was created. In the 1950s, post-World War II rationing was still in place. Manufacturers, who had more power than retailers, controlled prices. In the 1960s, the Resale Price Maintenance Act was repealed, giving retailers more power in their relationships with suppliers. In the 1970s, supermarkets flourished. In the 1980s, store groups like Kingfisher and the Burton Group dominated the market. Market segmentation became increasingly used, for example, targeting different age ranges. In the 1990s, the internet was commercialized, introducing online retailing. In the 2000s, supermarkets expanded into convenience stores. Small stores declined. Low-price value retailers expanded due to the economic downturn in 2008. In the 2010s, social and environmental responsibility became significant issues for retailers. Technology affected how retailers bought, sold, and promoted products. More than 1/3 of overseas trade is now passed through London, reinforcing its position as a trade centre. Traditional markets remain a central part of the economy and culture around the world. The development and scope of retail marketing theory and practice. According to Fernie et al., 2003, retail marketing is defined as the application of marketing concepts, theories and actions within the context of retail organizations. Retail and marketing theory evolve hand in hand, and it is possible for marketing principles to be applied throughout the retail sector. However, retail does have its own unique systems, for example in distribution and logistics. Marketing. A classic marketing model includes product, price, promotion, place. Known as the marketing mix, together these points are thought to communicate a consistent message to consumers. However, it requires adaptation to make it suitable for the retail section. Here are two examples why. During recent years, building positive relationships with customers has been at the forefront of marketing theory and practice. Place has always been important as the physical location of stores has been the focus of retailing for a long time, but electronic retailing has changed this. For example, the display of products in a shop window have more effect than an advertising campaign. Some authors want people, physical evidence and process added to the marketing mix as they are thought to be more suitable for the retail sector. Retail marketing theory. In the late 20th and early 21st century, marketing strategies and techniques developed, influencing retail marketing theory and practice. As previously mentioned, relationship marketing has recently been a source of interest, and this has been followed by an increase in criticism of the marketing mix due to its product-centered perspective. Relationship marketing lends itself well to retail marketing as retail consists typically of numerous and repeated customer-retailer transactions. Retail industry associations. Retail industry associations include the British Retail Consortium, BRC. This is the main trade association for UK retailers, and most major high street retailers are members and they fund it by contributing a fee based on the size and turnover of their company. The BRC lobbies the government on behalf of the sector. Retail Trust. This comprises various charitable initiatives like cottage homes which supports former retail workers with accommodation in their retirement. Retail Corps. This helps people develop careers and opportunities in retail. Retail Right. This is a project that helps develop future retail leaders with training and work experience. Retailer categories and business formats. Types of retailers. Specialist store. Sells a narrow line of products, for example groceries, electronics. Department store. Offers several product lines. Variety chain. Sells a variety of product lines, mostly own name. Supermarket. Self-service store selling groceries and household items. Superstore or hypermarket. Large version of supermarket. Convenience store. Small traditional local store selling groceries and household products. Catalog store. For example Argos. Discount store. Offers discounted prices. Outlet store. Sells discounted goods, usually from previous seasons. Market trader or stallholder. Individual rented stall. Business formats. Chain store or multiple. 2 or more outlets under the same name. Independent store. Individual or a small chain of stores not belonging to a larger company. Retail cooperative. A retailer which is owned by its members and has centralized buying. Franchise. A franchisee runs a store via a contract to sell the franchise's goods or services under the name of the franchise's company. Concession. A retailer which rents a proportion of space within another retailer's store. Non-store retailing, home shopping. Non-store retailing was declining until online retailing revived it. It is a far more convenient method of shopping. Some different types of non-store retailing include mail-order catalog retailing. This is when a customer buys from a catalog which is then posted to the customer, or which gets distributed by local agents. Direct mail targets specific customers with brochures, or via newspapers or magazines. Etailing, online retailing, is when a customer buys from a website. The retailer is either a multi-channel retailer with a physical store, or pure players who just sell online. TV retailing is sales via specialist sales channels, for example QVC and infomercials. Party plan or door-to-door selling is when a customer gets sold a product via an agent for a retailer, for example Ann Summers, Avon. Consumer-to-consumer retailing includes informal methods of buying or selling, for example car boot sales, eBay or classified ads. Automatic vending is when customers can purchase convenience snacks or produce via a vending machine, often bought on impulse. The retail life cycle, RLC. 4 different stages. The RLC is based on the theory that retailers progress through 4 different stages. 1. Introduction. They introduce a unique selling proposition. 2. Growth. The retailer increases their sales volume to become profitable. 3. Maturity. After growth, retailers can reach a plateau. 4. Decline. Sales can begin to drop, resulting in low profitability. The company heads into decline. The wheel of retailing. This is another cyclical theory that retailers pass through 3 stages of development after their introduction into the market. 1. Innovative retailer, entry phase. 2. Becoming mainstream, trading up phase. 3. Mature retailer, vulnerability phase. Retail accordion. The retail accordion theory suggests that retailers alternate their product offering, starting with a wide range then narrowing it down to a more specialized selection. 1. Small general store. 2. Urban retail specialist. 3. General department stores. 4. Category killers. 5. Discount department stores or general merchandisers. This theory was relevant in the 60s when it was introduced, but is rarely useful as a predictive model, since many retailers don't follow this pattern of development. Conflict theory. There has always been conflict between different types of retail innovations. In fact, most of the terminology used in retail and marketing is derived from the military, for example strategy, campaign. It has been suggested that innovations can lead to conflict where existing retailers go through the 4 stages of shock, defensive retreat, acknowledgement, and assessment, then adaptation. Whilst having negative connotations, conflict in retailing can help generate new forms of retailing, bridging gaps between one type of retailer and another. A retailer can adopt the aspect that makes the competitor retailer a threat. Retailing management. Retailing management covers lots of roles covering head office management, store management, supply chain and distribution. The marketing director or manager is typically responsible for compiling and implementing the marketing strategy. Retail chains usually have a head office location where most of the management functions take place. This is cost-effective, though this distances this personnel from customers and sales staff. A smaller company is unlikely to employ specialists in each of these areas, so one manager may have several responsibilities like HR, buying and marketing. Management functions can vary depending on the product sector. Summary. In this module, you have learnt the definition and history of retailing, retail theory and practice, retail industry associations, categories and business formats, non-store retailing, the retail life cycle, retail management.